So Annihilation. Annihilation was a movie that I was kind of on the fence about when people were talking about it. Me and my friend were trying to decide what to see, and it was down between this and Death Wish, and we decided to see Annihilation because he really just wanted to see something a little scary. And I can honestly say that I think that this film was better than I expected, but it was a lot slower than I expected. I really just expected to walk into this thing and it was going to be this horror movie where things attack, you know, and you gotta survive. But really, it was more about the constant fear of this little orb that gets bigger and bigger every day, swallowing more of the Earth and creating more of this like alien planet. But my big problem with this movie is flashbacks. I always have problems with flashbacks in movies. I mean, there's a few times where it does work, believe me, but in this film, there was a lot of times where the flashbacks really had no meaning to them. They weren't really needed. You know, we kind of already knew most of the stuff that was going on, and it's like they were forcing it down our throats, like, hey, this is happening, and it's like, oh, okay, I know, and it's like, no, really, this is what's happening, this is why this is happening, and it's like, okay, I know, I get it, leave me alone, just let me watch the movie. I think the cool thing about this was probably the special effects. I really enjoyed how everything looked, all the animals changing. To be honest, the coolest part about this movie is the bear scene, and there's a scene with a bear, and I'm not going to spoil it, but if you go and see, if someone told you that this movie's shit, then just watch it for the scene with the bear, and you'll probably have got your money's worth out of this film. As far as acting goes, there was Natalie Portman. I don't really like Natalie Portman. Apocalypse was in this movie, you know, from X-Men Apocalypse. But and then there was Jane the Virgin, and you know, not really much acting to report on besides, you know, it's just a fact of like, I think more to the makeup and the looks than I do the acting and the story, because I felt like the movie looked good, and I'm not saying the story wasn't good, I'm just saying it looked better than it actually was. It's like a girl that looks really good, but she has a terrible personality. That's what I kind of compare Annihilation to, because it looked amazing, but she still got the laugh that goes, oh, you know, kind of like that. But to be honest, Annihilation was solid for what it was, and I give it credit where credit is due, because there were a few times where I was cringing a little bit on the things that were going on. Ending was a little confusing, didn't really get it. It wasn't Inception confusing, but it was confusing to a point where I was like, okay, I get it, but at the same time you kind of made a couple reindeer games twists at the end that really weren't needed. So it actually did take me a long time to come together for a final verdict for this, and I finally decided to give it a 6.8. I know my friend's gonna freak out at this, but like I said, it's one of those things where I loved the way it looked, but I didn't love the way it was going. There were parts that I did like the way they were going, and then there were some parts where it was just unneeded flashbacks and unneeded character development. I mean, I understand character development's good, but we don't need to know your life story. We don't need to know that in a 2-hour movie. If you want to tell us a story about one single person, like Natalie Portman's character, they told us everything we needed to know. We didn't really need to know anything about anyone else. The characters were expendable. They were able to, you know, get rid of them quick. So 6.8 is my final verdict for Annihilation. Honestly, worth it just for the bear scene. And that's all I got to say. So guys, if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and be sure to smash that subscribe button. Get yourself some sweet Nighthawk merch. We're heading to Midwest Gaming Convention this week, so hopefully everyone will be wearing some merch if they're up there with me. So guys, I'm Nighthawk, and I'll see you guys next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.